What is up, wrestling fans? Welcome to another Fannounce Table edition of the Smark Out Moment Smack Talk podcast. We are going to be watching the 2014 WWE Royal Rumble match here to coincide with our usual beginning of the year January tradition of watching some old Royal Rumbles. And actually, we've done two of these before last week. So if you want to check back on the 1994 Royal Rumble, that is up on the YouTube channel, and obviously, all the other streaming services we have are podcasts available. And there's also one on the Darkcast tier, actually on the $5 tier on YouTube for the, a little bit before the Darkcast tier. But we have the 2004 Royal Rumble up there now, too. So we're going to continue on here. CM Punk's big 2014 last hurrah that was prior to his current return right here. And it's going to be a fun one to watch. I haven't rewatched this, whatever. If you don't know who I am and who we are doing this podcast, I'm Tony Mango, joined as always by Callum Wiggins.
Hello.
And Robert DeFelice.
After this, I'm taking a 10-year break from Smark Out Moment.
I think I might too. But maybe I at least won't have to deal with a lawsuit and stuff. That's the scenario that we had with this whole thing in 2014. And, I mean, it's something that obviously it's been addressed in a lot of different ways. When CM Punk had left WWE, all the years leading up to him joining AEW, then of course the AEW stuff happened and started off really well, turned into a situation where he's back now in WWE and kind of the forerunner of this year's Royal Rumble to make a 10-year journey back and right a couple wrongs and do something completely different than what happens here. But as you can see on your screen right now, I mean, it is he has the focal point. He is going to be starting this off. And as you could also see, we are not giving you the actual match on here for any kind of copyright issues, but instead we will give you a countdown of 3, 2, 1, play. When I say play, we're going to be hitting play on our different streaming platforms. Rob and I are going to be watching this on Peacock, and Callum is watching this on the WWE Network. So the Peacock time code that I have, for anybody who doesn't see it on the screen because you're watching on like Spotify or something, is 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 53 seconds. I have it paused on my screen right now. Josh Matthews is looking to the right at Hacksaw, who's got his hand kind of like mid-air frozen. Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair are like looking kind of surprised at the camera. This is right after Hacksaw says too long in regards to, I forget exactly what it is, but I think it's like somebody going the distance, like Punk or somebody that like Punk is like Ric Flair's pick or something. I don't know, whatever it is though. You should pause it right after he says too long. What's the time code on the network that you have, Callum?
1 minute. 1 minute, guys. That'd be weird. That was a minute into the thing. 1 hour, 40 minutes, 50 seconds.
Oh wow, that's really different.
Just a 3-second difference this time?
Just a 3-second difference, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's surprising. It's been about like 12 to 15 the last couple of ones. So keep that in mind if you are watching this over, in the UK or, anywhere, I guess, outside of the United States where we have to watch it on Peacock. Season, whatever it is.
Season 27, episode 1, as you all know, the famous show Royal Rumble.
It's so stupid. I hate that they do that. So, of course, as we go along here and we react to this, we, rewatch this for the first time in a while, at the very least, I would assume. I don't know if I've actually gone back and rewatched this at all, come to think of it.
I haven't.
But at least it's been years for me. I probably, if I did see it, it's probably been at least like 5-6 years or so, but maybe even a full 10. And, obviously there's elements to this that I remember. There's things that I totally do not remember whatsoever, so they might take me by surprise. But while we do that, we want to know what you have to say about any of this, your reactions or responses to our reactions and stuff. So leave your comments below on YouTube. While you're over there, make sure that you hit the like button, double check that you are subscribed to the channel. If you do want to get access to that 2004 one, join the channel membership at least on the $5 tier. But if you do on the $10 tier, then you get access to every single Darkcast that we've uploaded up on there. Pick Poison tier is always another option if you want us to watch another one of these or do some other kind of alternative idea. Little thanks button is a little spare change tip jar kind of thing. And also, outside of the Patreon stuff, if you want to pick up some merchandise on Redbubble and TeePublic, you can pick that up on those sites. It's Markout Moment, Fanboys Anonymous, and A Mango Tees over there. So we got all that stuff out of the way. I need to make sure that I have my little handy dandy pause and everything set up on here, since I have to click 3 things at exactly the same time, which is always difficult for me. Wish there was a much better way to do this, but it doesn't seem like that is the case. So I think that I am good, at least as much as I can be. And you guys are good too?
Yep.
Alrighty, so remember everybody, it's 3, 2, 1, play. When I say play, you hit play. Get yourself started, because we're going to get that started right now. In 3, 2, 1, play. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Royal Rumble match. There you go. You should be synced up with that. I do not remember who starts off.
I do, only because it was recently uploaded to WWE's YouTube, and it's the thumbnail. Hey, it's Rebecca.
Oh, is that Britt?
Rebecca.
Oh, hey. That's cool. See how many people are in AEW now? Obviously, CM Punk starts off. That's one of the big elements going into this. I really hope that they don't have him do this again this year. I don't want another number 1 or anything.
I feel like if he was going to, well, there's still an episode of Raw to go as we record this, but I feel like if he was going to, they're going to advertise it. I said that that's what I would have done. I wouldn't have had him show up at Survivor Series. I just would have had him kick off the Rumble. Like, let's just run it back. All right, now everybody focus on his butt. See if you can find the Mercer Road.
Nothing that I can notice.
That's so weird when everyone just did those like slow motion replays of everything that happened in this match to try and find those little details.
Well, they uploaded a full video of, can you find it? WWE did this when they were suing him. Like,
how do you guys tend to like number 1 and number 2? Do you like it when it's like 2 huge superstars? Do you like it better when it's kind of 2 younger guys that get a chance to get a spotlight that normally wouldn't? Do you want it to be like a feud going on, or 2 tag team members or anything?
I mean, the beautiful thing about the Royal Rumble is any of that can work as long as you've got at least 2 people who can go. So it depends on where you are with your roster at the time. But as long as they can go and make it interesting.
I like at least one of them to be a big star, so it gives you a bit of a immediate interest in the match.
So if Seth Rollins is not injured, we should be
we'll
getting.
Know by the time we do the hot tags.
I hope we know, and
Sean
I hope we
said that either Wednesday or Thursday he will hear about his injury.
Hopefully, we hear that everything's fine. But the match that we're getting right here to start things off, pretty apropos. You skip forward 10 years, and this could be the.
It's easily your night 1 of WrestleMania main event.
Yeah.
If he's healthy.
I mean, even if he isn't and they need to replace Rollins with somebody else, Punk's going to be on the main event of night 1. I don't know what their alternative option would be, because I don't think that they have anything else in mind, because they probably just assume everybody can.
They have a ton. The thing is, they have a ton of options.
Not for anything that would be really worth a damn, I think. Because if you do like Punk versus Drew, it's going to be like, okay. as good as Drew McIntyre is, nobody cares.
There's Cody. I'm already saying that I think Steve Austin's an option.
I mean, if they can pull it. Definitely glad that Rollins is not still wearing the all the pouches and everything. I always thought that was really strange that they kept that on instead of just having the black t-shirt.
The Shield was one of the best things this company's ever done, especially in the modern era. Like, the Shield was so good.
A lot of CM Punk signs in the crowd. No idea who comes out at number 3. Damien Sandow. So this is pre-Mizdow and all. Okay.
Pre-Money in the Banquet. No, it's right after he cashed in and failed, isn't it?
Oof. Sandow eats yellow snow is a sign.
This is the previous match prior to this was the rematch between Randy Orton and John Cena that everyone hated.
I don't remember that offhand, but I'm sure I would have hated it back then if that was the case.
Because I enjoy everything. I was very cognizant at the time that it was going to be one of their last big matches, so I was trying to savor that.
I'm gonna try to go back and see the write-up I did on this Royal Rumble in Smark out moment. Let's see. So I had
crowd, booed that out of the building. That match.
Yeah, it was a weird. This crowd was just determined. This is like the beginning of the we're gonna just hijack everything kind of crowds.
Yeah, but they had every right to be angry at that match. We'd just seen it at
TLC.
At TLC, yeah, TLC was the unification match, and they said, yeah, let's run it back. And that match was overexposed so much by this point. Anyway,
by that point, yeah, they had like at least 25 matches on TV.
Wow. Different type of wow.
I mean, my God, if you look at this, like
the people that 10 years later.
Yeah.
Oh, and Cody and Sandow were like rivals at the time.
Yeah, because they've been following the cash-in was the Sandow
was the betrayal on Cody. And if you think about it, like Cody got super over in that moment.
So Rhodes lost the tag titles earlier on the kickoff show
to New Age Outlaws, which apparently was a match that I liked. It said, good match. You could have had a few more minutes, but it was still fun. The ending of it was pretty cool. There goes Sandow. Yeah, I guess
does seem to be a step off in this match.
I guess during the Randy Orton and Cena match, people were chanting, "This is awful. We want divas," and other things that I had written down. But I wrote down the end of the match was interesting, but the rest of it was a bore.
Yeah, there were no women's matches on this card, by the way.
Not at all.
No.
Did anybody really want divas?
And the other matches on this card were Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan in the opener.
Amazing match.
And then Brock Lesnar versus the Big Show.
Yeah.
and then the Orton Cena match. That was it.
Wow, what a shitty card. I guess I can call it a shitty card, but at the same time, like, that's pretty stacked just in terms of names.
It's Corporate Kane.
Corporate Kane.
Donald Trump's favorite wrestler. You should have started it off with Punk and just gotten eliminated right away, because I know he's going to be out relatively quickly.
He's actually in pretty good shape at this point.
Yeah.
All things considered, yeah.
Yeah, DDP Yoga, man.
He looks a lot worse than next year's Royal Rumble. But he's still Corporate Kane.
Oh my God.
Don't remember what he looks like then.
Yeah, that's when he and Big Show team up and eliminate everybody except for Roman. I
was there and I don't even remember. I remember like 5 or 6 things from that. I remember nobody else liked the New Day except for me. I was the only one that was like, yeah, New Day rocks. And everybody's like, this team's awful. I remember there goes Corporate Kane. Yeah. I remember I was rooting for Roman Reigns that next year and everybody else hated me for it.
You were ahead of the curve. He looks relatively younger too, Kane does.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like really he still looks pretty good. That's tremendous.
He's still Alexander Rusev.
Well, this is his debut, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah. He doesn't show up on the main roster for another like 8 or 9 months.
No, he debuts permanently after WrestleMania.
I never got the huge hype about Rusev. Like he's good and all, but like for everybody that was always like, oh man, he should be like a champion right out of the gate. I was like, you're gonna have to earn that for me. And I think he was justified as like, United States champion level and all, but I still don't think I would have ever put the world title on him.
I think if a guy gets over as he did with the Rusev Day stuff, then you probably at least should consider it.
I'm going to later on today write up an article about the people that I think are going to be surprise entrants to the Royal Rumble this year. And is he already bleeding? I think so.
Got a scratch on his face. What the fuck?
Yeah. The NXT 1 or 2, or sometimes even more than that, people is always one of the most interesting things for me in Royal Rumbles nowadays. Because it's a good spot to be able to take somebody and give them a random spotlight. Sometimes they follow up on it really well. Sometimes they just don't. Like, I used to like this theme a lot. Didn't really like the group, but I like the theme song. His sign is awful.
That's a different kind of Royal Rumble. Oh wait, is he babyface? There's no way that gimmick is babyface with a sign like that.
No, he's not
would have
babyface.
I think it's just like he's like, oh, I need to go after the foreigner.
Well, he turns babyface to fight Rusev later.
That's why I'm confused.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
Oh, now the crowd chant USA because they're bigots.
Yeah. They're like, you're a miserable heel. Oh wait, but that guy's not from the United States. Well, I mean, I guess I'm gonna root for you.
Yeah, I mean, we can admit that you're a bigot, but if you're fighting a guy who's not from the country, what's your reaction?
Punk's just sitting in the corner.
I've been watching him this whole time. Like he definitely is off.
Loud "We the People" chants.
God, what the fuck's wrong with was Pittsburgh? What the fuck's wrong with Pittsburgh?
I don't know. I've never been.
I mean, this is was this is like, when did Trump get elected? Was it 2016?
2015. He announces in 2015.
Yeah. So this is like a country that's for some reason crying out for a guy like Trump to come into the.
God damn, Kofi.
And Punk says he got concussed at that very moment.
Kofi Kingston is almost at the record at this point for most appearances in Royal Rumbles. He is just shy of Kane by, it's either 1 or 2 appearances.
That's insane. I definitely think, by the way, that he's going to be in this year's Royal
I hope
Rumble,
so.
despite what you think.
I really hope he is. Not only do I hope he is, but I hope that he also does some kind of safe spot and redeems himself.
I think we keep it simple and just, as he's almost getting eliminated,
Big E comes out.
Big E comes out, Big E saves him, and hey, we're off to the races.
I'm totally down for that.
I remember the save spot from this year now that I'm seeing him fight Rusev.
So speaking of the whole, like, who's in AEW and stuff, so far this Royal Rumble is kind of AEW proof. The only people that are currently in there
I mean, there's Swagger and
Rusev and Swagger.
There's Cody too.
Well, I mean, as far as
now, but
yeah,
he definitely started it.
Yeah, I'd say that over half these people have been in AEW at some point.
Yeah.
Is this yeet or not yeet? This is not yeet. Okay.
This is not yeet.
Oh, the Bubba Bomb.
I forgot that they had that theme.
That was a good thing.
I used to like the Desi Vital thing.
That says go Jey Uso, or is it Jimmy?
That's good.
Kofi still, well, yeah, because this is still pre New Day.
It's pre New Day.
So it's still Jamaican Mick Crazy.
Little Trouble in Paradise.
I like that spot. I always love the someone tries to headbutt a Samoan spot and they recoil.
Every Samoan has a super thick cranium
made of concrete. Yeah.
Yeah. And look at how like relatively small Cody and Jimmy look and on all,
Cody
and it's
in
like
particular.
it's
Cody
so funny.
Huge.
How like like there's whether it's like the way that they film them or like obviously the workouts and stuff that they do make themselves bigger and all, but even the presentation just makes a huge difference when you look back at old Royal Rumbles, like old Shawn Michaels, and you're like, oh, in 2 years he's a main eventer and looks off. And who we got coming down now? Goldust. I would love to see him pop back up, but I don't think his contract's over until like the end of the year, right?
I thought he'd already resigned.
Maybe he did. I don't know. I haven't double checked that in a while.
I think it's like it's a positive thing, or it's disconcerting that the majority of these guys are still in WWE, are still very prominently featured in WWE right now, to the point where, well, obviously Cody's in a much higher position than he was before. Punk's pretty much in the same position he previously was, but like the fact that like a lot of these people are just going to be wrestling in the Rumble match in the same position that they are now.
I think it's different because like Jimmy Uso is a completely different presentation.
I also don't think that Jimmy's going to be in it.
He'll be in it, probably. They'll have some bloodline presence in it.
I think that Jimmy, if he does show up in it, it'll be just to screw Jay. I don't think we'll see Jimmy or Solo actually competing in it.
Jay even declared?
He hasn't officially declared, but Cody had mentioned like Jey Uso could win the match.
He's going in there to get there's the Kofi spot. Well, the start of it.
Wow, Rusev is really like gingerly doing everything.
Yeah.
But,
by the way, we didn't say Miro as a name that's in AEW.
Yeah, we did. We said Rusev and Swagger.
Oh, okay.
But
technically, we didn't say Miro, but is this like the first of Kofi doing this, or is this maybe like the second or third?
It's like the third.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he just said last year he pulled out my chair, and this is one of the best ones, I think.
Yeah,
this is a good one.
This is awesome, and a lot of trust to the fans because somebody could have.
Yeah, that's so good. And then, of course, the rule of thumb: every time
you can safely get eliminated in 2 seconds if you want to.
Every time Kofi saves himself, or anybody for that matter, they get eliminated within the next person coming out, basically.
I think he'll probably survive a little bit longer.
If he's still around by the time number 12 comes out, I'd be shocked.
How come Ambrose didn't come from the crowd? But
you
found the entranceway?
Jon Moxley, much more intimidating than Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, Dean Ambrose sounds really weird to say now.
Well, this is the first Shield Rumble, so that's exciting. Like, that was a huge deal at the time. And you'll see it with Roman. Roman's gonna fucking
dominate
everybody.
It's kind of only this is the only really real Shield Rumble, isn't it?
They're not all in 2015 because Rollins is in the title match.
In 2015.
Yeah. By that point, Roman's on his own. So
That's why Roman wins.
Yeah, and Rollins is in the title match, so that takes him out of there. To even say like, oh, well, the three of them are in there, but otherwise, Swagger's boot's undone.
Ambrose is in the 2015 one because I think he finishes.
He does try to help Roman at the end.
And then come 2016, Roman's
the champion.
Like,
Ambrose is the last eliminated by Hunter. And Rollins is hurt.
And everyone realizes they'd rather have Ambrose be the world champion instead.
Huge pop for Ziggler.
Well, it's 2014, so he's less than a year removed from the cash-in.
Newest acquisition for New Japan and TNA, because we're back to TNA again. It's amazing how... Oh, there's a sign that says DDP yogurt. Yeah, so every single person that's in this match right now is an active person.
It's amazing. The only people that we had seen that that are really not active people anymore are Kane, Damien, Sandow.
Yeah.
And Sandow's working for the NWA, so he's still active. Just nobody cares.
Guess so. Yeah.
Really, it's just Kane and he's a fucking mayor. Which is how it should be. It doesn't feel like that long ago. It's just, you only know it is because you say 10 years.
I mean, 10 years sounds like, it doesn't make any sense. You know, that's the whole, like, the year 2010 to 2020 just, like, didn't exist. I've been showing Caroline Goldust videos lately. And she's like, oh my God, I love it. This would have been my favorite character. What's up?
Trying to get Ambrose to turn around.
Newest acquisition for the Judgment Day.
Top merch seller, even over CM Punk. Currently, R-Truth.
He's selling enough merch that he's making.
Than he does
right, yeah. He's selling enough merch that he's actually selling it on the street.
He's selling a bootleg.
Yeah. I'm going to feel bad for whoever the next person comes out that actually isn't an active person, where we just go, okay, it's that one. There goes R-Truth already.
That sucks.
I really hope he's in the Royal Rumble this year and he does some kind of funny spot. Or like maybe JD McDonough's in the Royal Rumble and R-Truth takes the spot because it's like, well, the Judgment Day's music is playing. There goes Jimmy. He's not the one.
I think Roman's probably the next entrant, I believe. I know the Roman comes out pretty soon afterwards because they just then start dominating and chucking loads of people out.
It's an interesting setup. Did he do it twice?
I think he might do it twice in this.
I think he's...
Oof.
Did it twice.
That makes up for one of the years that he messed up.
Felt like, yeah.
Kevin Nash.
Oh.
Oh, so he does get along with Punk?
This must be this probably his final match, right?
I don't remember this at all.
Oh, the final match is the Triple H thing, right?
No, this is after that, yeah.
Oh,
This is way off that. This is
3 years after
about
that.
2 or 3 years after it, yeah.
Okay, yes, I remember this because Roman's going to eliminate him.
The Diesel spot. Go back and check out that
Watch
94
that, yeah.
Royal Rumble.
Oh god, yeah, we're watching a guy that was in the Rumble
20 years
ago,
prior.
prior to this, yeah.
Man, if Kevin Nash pops up in this year's Royal Rumble, it'll be like 30 years ago.
I think that's the reason why they chose him for this one, because it is 20 years after his debut Rumble.
Yeah.
Would be cool if they gave him a decent spot, but not enough. Like,
yeah, that's what you really need. A guy whose knees don't work, eliminating 20 guys in the Rumble.
Like, he's gonna go put over Roman in 2 seconds.
Yeah, he eliminated Swagger. He got at least one elimination.
Yeah, who cares how many people's momentum he derails as long as the Roman gets over? That's always been the WWE rule.
Hey?
There's a sign that says The Outsiders, Hall and Oates.
He looks so small.
Even Roman, I was going to say, even Roman looks tiny. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, he looks like it's so weird how that happens over time.
I think I find
it's beer.
This is great.
Yeah, just getting Cody. I mean, the thing I find so unfortunate right now is, like, with the entire Roman Reigns run, is that Roman can wrestle. Roman is a really good wrestler, and
there goes Kofi.
He doesn't do any of this stuff anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. He wasn't supposed to get dropped, but that's okay.
Yeah, definitely not. Just gonna flip him over. That spear first.
Jesus, what a sell.
That was awesome.
Dolph is so good at just getting tossed around.
Great. Yeah.
And the crowd's starting to get into it.
It's literally good for Kevin. Good. You see that? He didn't tear quad. Look at that. Oh my God. He's gonna finish the story.
Skip forward a couple of years. It's so far, like, this Royal Rumble, it's not like the moments aren't there to be like super duper memorable, but it's a solid Rumble.
No, this is peak dancing with Natalya and Hornswoggle to the ring.
Awful. So this is going to be the Omos spot for this year.
Omos can move better than that. It'd be nice.
Oh, also something we haven't actually mentioned about this Rumble or the show itself. This is the penultimate pay-per-view prior to the network launching.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, because it starts with Elimination Chamber, right?
No, it's the night after.
It's Elimination Chamber is the last pay-per-view that has that is traditional pay-per-view, and WrestleMania is the first pay-per-view that is under the.
Oh no, it's NXT is the first one.
Well,
but that's the first real pay-per-view.
Yes. Yeah. First live special.
First WWE like proper pay-per-view is.
Yeah.
After that.
That's main roster.
And the response that Roman gets here, like, as much as obviously fans wanted Daniel Bryan, they want Daniel Bryan, nobody else can matter. The response Roman gets here, like, no wonder WWE was like, yeah, we can go with this guy as the guy.
But they don't understand they didn't understand the context. It's all about context. The reason why they're cheering Roman is not because they liked Roman, it's because he wasn't Batista.
Well, he's getting a good good response right now.
Of that.
Yeah, because they're naturally getting the Shield over, and they're naturally beating the shit out of people, which is a cool thing to do. But then when you realise, they're just pushing Roman, and really the other two don't really matter in the grand scheme of things, then people start turning on it.
Yeah.
It was like they went from being like a natural good progression, and also the big issue with Roman in his push beyond that point is because he's the one that never evolved past the Shield.
Yeah, he just kept the Shield shit.
He kept the Shield gear. He kept the Shield music. All the other ones developed their own kind of characters and their own identities, whereas he was just, hey, I'm still that Roman Reigns. I'm still pretending like the Shield never died.
Even the catchphrase, believe that. Yeah.
Yeah. And at that point he was a weak promo, and
dude, Ambrose was tiny. See that? Like,
yeah, all these guys are really small at this point.
yeah, it's crazy.
This is when they were probably still enforcing the wellness policy.
Mm-hmm. Of course, Sheamus still another active person too. Great Khali and Kevin Nash were the only ones so far that came out. Well, those two and Kane are the only ones.
Yeah. Well, I guess you kind of question how active Sheamus is right now.
I think he'll be back in the Royal Rumble. There's a sign it's time for Kurt Hawkins. Miz, of course, another active guy. I'm assuming he's heel here.
He's babyface.
Yeah, he's
really?
babyface, yeah.
So he's babyface again. So 10 years later, he's babyface.
Yeah, so he's just turned. Well, he's only recently turned babyface. I mean, Christ Almighty. I think isn't Del Rio's not babyface at this point, is he?
I hope not.
No, he just lost. He's gonna get beat up by Batista the next one.
Oh yeah, so he's heel at this point. Yeah. Oh yeah, he recently returned. Oh no, he didn't recently return. That's like
he had recently lost to Cena at Consol. That's very serious again.
Yeah, he was world champion at that point. Yeah, so he was babyface. He'd done the double turn with Ziggler last year. So
where's Punk? Oh, he's just in the corner still.
Yeah,
just like give me a yeah.
Nothing. Leave me the fuck alone. Rollins' hair looks crazy at this point.
So does Moxley.
Yeah.
Fandango.
Still wrestling. He's in TNA.
And there you got Summer Rae.
Not.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a funny joke. I like the Royal Rumble. Oh, oh my god.
The crowd still doing the Fandango thing.
I guess it was less than a year since that started.
Yeah, he only debuted at
pretty much at Mania, yeah.
Yeah. So they haven't killed his momentum just yet entirely.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure at this point it was dead, but people were still happy to see him.
I think it's only when he's no longer with Summer Rae when it's finally like dead.
That whole Intercontinental title thing, I wonder how things would have changed if he would have won that.
I mean, they gave Curtis Axel the Intercontinental title and Paul Heyman. It didn't help.
Yeah, I'd say he'd probably get pushed for 3 months, then it would just revert back to normal after that point. He's got that sort of character that's not sustainable long term. It's like it's good for a year or two, and then at that point, just diminishing returns.
You have to transition into something that's more stable.
Yeah, it's one of those things that like like people like it for a while, but then if you don't do anything to really shake it up, then you just kind of nostalgia pop every now and again.
Oh, I forgot about these.
Oh, it's not them though.
It's Torito. There.
Yeah, El Torito
on the wall.
They couldn't help themselves, and I don't blame them.
Well, this rules.
He could do stuff.
Oh, it's fun. It's the only time that you could do this kind of a thing. Is the Royal Rumble.
He is.
Jeez. That WLC match was so fun. You know, it's like as stupid as it is. It's Jesus Christ. He blasted him.
Fandango doesn't give a fuck.
That's great. He just attacks him.
He's gonna get out of this because Roman's got to throw him. Oh, he's gonna get him out. You know what? Fuck, that was pretty good.
Yeah, it's some fun shit.
Yeah.
It checks off your comedic spot in the Royal Rumble, something fun. Yeah, then you get Roman, something funny to do. Toss him into Fandango. Yep.
I hope so.
You hear JBL's thing? He's like, did both of us hit the ground?
Commendable. Oh, it's Cesaro. You can time it yourself with his toilet.
They really did, like, more than any superstar ever in WWE history. Roman Reigns has been there, like, give him the accolade because we need to just check that box off. Like,
hey, that was pre-Cesaro.
Yeah.
I mean, they really, like, they start him off as, like, let's give him the Royal Rumble record. Let's have him always be number one runner-up or close to it, or win the Royal Rumble or whatever. Let's give him every main event of WrestleMania for a decade.
This is a great little moment for Cesaro. He's fucking throwing people around.
I just don't know what. Yeah, again, don't know why.
Stop zooming in like that. God damn.
Yeah, fuck it. Fuck you, Kevin Dunn. I'm so glad you're gone.
God, like, just, I'm not the type of person that tends to get like motion sickness, but Jesus, I'm like looking away from my screen now.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Oh, Jesus.
Right back to that.
Oh, to another camera doing the exact same thing.
Kevin Dunn's like, don't cut away, damn it. You know, you got to keep zooming in and whatever.
Oh, God.
This makes it so difficult.
Oh, God, this is...
Oh, my God. My fucking head hurts already.
That was pretty good, though. Oh, God.
Luke Harper. Unfortunately, not an active person on our list anymore.
Is Wyatt not in this? But oh, shit.
Oh, Wyatt had a match earlier.
Oh, that's right.
Which is the same rule that you'd apply to the Daniel Bryan.
That is the same rule I applied to Daniel Bryan.
We always talk about this, but like, man, you put Luke Harper in like Hogan's era, and he's main eventing.
You'd essentially think they've reincarnated Bruiser Brody.
Yeah, it's just like, he's huge. He can move.
Swamp era Wyatt family was one of the best things WWE had ever done.
Honestly, I would have the only there's a lot of differences I would have made to the whole booking of the Wyatt family, but one of the main things is that I would have eventually built up, like, keep the Swamp Thing for around, and then built up to Luke Harper taking over the family from Bray, and Bray goes spiraling somewhere, like to whatever his character then transitions to, but you continue the whole cult gimmick, but with Luke Harper as the leader instead.
But it's worth a lot of stars here, like a lot of people who have either been world champion
or at least a mid-card champion or something.
Yeah, like there's a lot of really good names here.
Couple surprises.
Fandango would probably be the lowest.
Yeah. Well, Fandango's that.
Well, El Torito. But then again, it's because it's a funny thing to do.
Yeet. Oh my God.
Main event number 23.
Go Jey Uso.
Yeah, that's Heineken. Took all the way up until they started changing their look and all for me to be able to tell the difference between them. Like, if they wouldn't have put on the screen that was Jay, I wouldn't have been able to tell you that this one was Jay.
Specifically when they do the main event thing and Jay cuts his hair,
yep,
and Jimmy keeps the hair, like then it becomes okay, they're different people. I think the audience is starting to realize, oh shit, we're running out of spots. Where's Brian?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do feel bad for all these people. It's obviously it's not their fault. But it's like it's booking 101. It's like at this point in time, not putting Austin in a Rumble match.
I'm gonna be honest. Like 2 years later, up to today, honestly. That spot right there with Harper and Claudio would have gotten a huge pop.
Yeah.
And they did not even react. It's JBL, isn't it?
Yeah.
I knew that because he was like, hey, you never know what's going to happen at the Royal Rumble.
You got to do your research. The JBL character. Why would you refer to it as that?
That's such a weird fucking thing to say.
The JBL gimmick has never entered the Royal Rumble match.
Well, Roman needed eliminations. He closed on somebody?
No, just going right out.
No, yeah, because
I can see Ambrose telling Roman, okay, go.
See, I like when they do the surprise things, but when they do it like that, I always think that it's a missed opportunity that they don't do something more.
Yeah, a bit of waste of the spot.
Mm-hmm.
They actually booed. I feel like they wanted more Bradshaw.
You still got it.
He's just pretending like he was never even in it.
He didn't do it as good as the King did it in '97, but
yeah, that's so good when it takes a king to know a king, man.
Michael Cole. Oh, it's the other way.
Get
Eric Rowan.
Future legend Eric Rowan. Another dude that like
Roman Reigns, by the way.
Yeah. Another dude that you put him in the Hogan era and he's main eventing WrestleMania and stuff. It is surprising that when he got fired from WWE that he never went anywhere. Like he made some guest appearances, but just like
Well, Brody died.
But even still, like, I would have thought that like NWA would have picked him up as just like Eric Redbeard.
I'm pretty sure people wanted to, but I think he
just wasn't interested.
Was just like, yeah, I'm not doing this.
He did a few like little spots in AEW.
He had like maybe 4 matches or something.
I don't think he even had.
Wasn't most of it in tribute to Brody?
Yeah, because he had. Yeah, he did that interference spot at the Brody Lee tribute show, and then I think he had 1 6-man tag.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. Yeah, so there's probably
the last time he popped up was for the Bray Wyatt tribute show, where he was just.
There must be a reason for it. Yeah, there must be a reason for it. Maybe he just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to wrestle permanently anymore.
I don't even think he's popped up on like indies though.
Well, yeah, that's the same. Like maybe he's quietly retired.
Oh shit! It's Ryback.
Feed me more. Somebody who is not an active person, despite all of the polls that he puts up on Twitter.
He's also not actively retiring, not honoring those polls.
Yeah. Kid in the crowd that's super hyped up for Ryback.
Now Goldberg.
They're chanting Goldberg.
Several years before Goldberg would actually return.
Yeah, because people still don't think Goldberg will ever come back at this point. Stuff like that is what's crazy to think about.
That he did come back and then just didn't leave for a long time either. So, or left, but like only temporarily.
Same thing with Brock Lesnar. Like people were probably waiting for Brock Lesnar to go away. Who would have thought that he would stick around for another 10 years beyond this point?
Right.
Oh God, the bar before the bar.
It's so wild how they're not popping for anything. They popped for like Punk, Ziggler, and the Shield.
Fandango a little bit.
I mean, this is just a surly crowd. It's like Callum was saying, like they had earned the right at this point to just be tired of it.
Well, yeah, they just sat through like a 30-minute John Cena, Randy Orton match, and fundamentally, like I say, we could probably wax nostalgic about some of the people that are in this match, but fundamentally, Raw Rumble's been pretty dull. and they're only waiting. And now it's a nose prick, Alberto Rio coming out, and so yeah, all they're waiting for now is for Daniel Bryan to come out, because it just makes logical sense to them based on everything they've seen booking wise that Daniel Bryan is coming out to win the Royal Rumble.
Well, they know that Batista's in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they weren't happy about that either, because they knew
immigration checkpoint for Alberto.
Well, we the people really, really not working the way that.
I hated this Royal Rumble font that they had. They just took Boston traffic, and they were just like
the logo they have now.
See, I like it only for the means that they have that bar between that, so it looks like it's like over the rope.
It looks like the fucking Bill Maher logo. I hate it.
But this just typed out Royal Rumble thing where it's got nothing to it. Not a fan.
I want them to go back to exciting things like they did in the like peak Hogan era and stuff, where like things were actually vibrant and alive.
Why does the never mind, that's not the ring apron. I thought it's that they had two WWE logos, but that's the logo in the corner of the screen.
I do think it's important to note that in the same way that Punk bringing up, you can't go around punching people backstage and it doesn't get a reaction. Like in 2014, this was even more of like some of these WWE fans didn't give a shit that Claudio was in the ring with Tyler Black. It was a different crowd.
See, though, I still think that the vast majority is like that. It just happens to be that there's more people that have a connection to that stuff now than they did before. But I think if you polled like the average people in the crowd, people wouldn't be
right,
like.
But I'm saying like it's fun for me, to look at some of these spots. But I'm looking at the lack of reaction for like the chop battle or the clothesline battle. It's like it's such a different thing.
Shit yourself, Del Rio. They never should have given him all those world titles.
He was a big deal. Like
I never thought he was all that good.
I was a senior in high school. One of the things I loved about him at first was the build they gave him. Like he had the vignette spot and the car entrance. When they stripped him of that stuff, it really just became, okay, yeah, I don't care that you're just a guy.
I, from the very start, just wasn't a fan of Del Rio. Like I warmed up to Sheamus over the years. Del Rio.
Oh my God.
Oh, that old theme, yeah.
He's the Intercontinental Champion here.
Man, I really hope that Big E pops up this year.
That's going to be a huge pop when it comes.
If it happens, it's going to get one of the biggest pops of the night for sure.
Everything might legitimately stop.
In the meantime, he wins a world championship. Big E Langston.
Now everyone's chanting Daniel
Langston,
Bryan.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan chant's getting loud now.
Mm-hmm.
All things considered, it was really just a pissy crowd. But it does lead to one of the better WrestleMania moments of all time.
Even if they're dragged there kicking and screaming.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you need crowds reactions like this to force them into that decision.
Mm-hmm.
So otherwise they will just go.
Now it's not. They figured it out.
Yep.
They have figured it out.
And then this upcoming boo.
Yeah, everyone's standing up because they're expecting it.
One of the few times you're going to hear the boo for Rey Mysterio.
Fucking silence. Fucking
Overrated. There's the booze.
Oh my god.
It is pretty visceral now.
It's pretty bad. They haven't gotten an organized chant together yet, but they're coming.
Now they're getting the Daniel Bryan chant.
Yeah. It's now nothing matters at this point, really.
Because now they know.
I mean, at least it's not as bad as the 2015 one, where it's basically as soon as Roman Reigns comes out and Daniel Bryan's eliminated, nothing matters at that point.
Well, the 2015 one was horrible because they had Bryan go out in like 2 minutes.
They did it like to make a statement.
Yeah.
They were like, no, fuck you for wanting that.
But it's like the most amazing thing is like, especially considering how how WrestleMania ended up and how what actually ended up happening. If they have Daniel Bryan in this and win this Rumble match like it kind of should have happened, then the 2015 thing doesn't really resonate. Like, it doesn't happen. So basically, by making the mistake in this Rumble, they fucked up the other Rumble immediately.
Well, you also forget, like, well, I don't know if you forget, but you didn't mention that Bryan entering the 2015 Rumble was fresh off of saying, "Hey, I can wrestle again.
Oh yeah,
I'm healed."
Yeah, but they wouldn't.
The amount of mistakes that they make every year around this Royal Rumble to WrestleMania time that keep leading to more mistakes. Because if you go with this and you go like, all right, if they handle this better,
oh man, that's sad.
Then
they shitting on Ray for. What Ray ever do to you?
If they handle this better, then 2015 doesn't go down the way that it does. If 2015 doesn't go down the way that it does, then they don't feel the need to have the Seth Rollins cash in to overcompensate for people not liking the Roman and Brock thing, which means then they can just do Roman and Brock and not spend another 8 years redoing it over and over to try to recapture that original moment. You don't need to do the Undertaker streak thing. You don't need to do the Goldberg thing, Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens and all. Like, it all kind of crumbles, and it's like all because they were just like, no, we want Batista.
Tension within the Shield.
Claudio trying to eliminate Rollins and Moxley.
Yeah, it's quite fun seeing like Moxley and Harper fight each other at the previous one, because it's like that's your Double or Nothing 2020 main event right there.
Mm-hmm. Here's your final four that they're not.
It's a good final four too. The difference between this one and the next year is that in 2015, the whole thing is booked like a fuck you. Here, they're just upset that Bryan's not in the match.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is booked like a fuck you.
But I mean, Punk is like Punk is doing the whole number one story, and he's one of the big prominent people. And Roman is going on a tear, and he's got that like, hey, maybe the youthful Royal Rumble winner. Batista's the big star coming back. Sheamus is the oddball out
there, but Sheamus also has that explosive finisher that is the rope kick.
And also, he's a former winner. Kind of positioned him very strong in previous Rumbles as well.
He's just there though. Like, he's not like, for this particular Royal Rumble, he's not one of the big focal points. So if you replace him with Daniel Bryan,
and that's the end of CM Punk.
And that's the end of CM Punk in WWE, by the way.
Yes, end of CM Punk in WWE for 10 years.
Yeah, it's the doctor. I'm sure that is not an important interaction whatsoever.
And I really hope we get a good Royal Rumble and WrestleMania this year. And a good road to WrestleMania, because I don't want another one of those years where it's like, well, the match is going to be good, so we'll just skip forward for 2 months.
Yeah, this Rumble is not as bad as I remember it being.
It's not great, though.
They get really surly at the end. But that 2015 one that I'm sure we'll watch next year is a fucking mess.
It's an average Royal Rumble that the most memorable parts of it are bad things, unfortunately. All the boos.
Yeah, they're just...
They have realized now what they're left with.
Yeah, they're just like, shit, Batista's winning then.
Yeah, and I'd say, like, they end up cheering for Reigns because Reigns is different and he's new.
Mm-hmm. But even going into this, there's
both of them is Sheamus, who's just sort of there.
But there's even like going into the match, there's somebody with a sign that says Batista sucks. There's another one that says spoiler alert, Batista wins.
Yeah.
So like they were not in the idea of Batista coming back and winning this to begin with.
No.
But of course WWE was like, yeah, well that's our idea, so fuck you.
I'm sure it was like Batista versus Randy is not a bad match. It's just not what you needed to be booking in 2014.
It's just one of those things that like I'm sure this wasn't Batista's idea coming back.
No, he even said he wanted to come back as a heel.
Yeah, he said he wanted to come back as a heel, and also like actually like he didn't. Yeah, I think Batista was smart enough to know what the right call was, but Vince was like, but this is what I want to do, and therefore everyone likes it.
Batista probably wanted the match with Brock right away.
Maybe,
probably wanted Brock at Mania.
Yeah. No, look at this, Christ.
That's so bad.
Well, that's horrible. Yeah,
that was not supposed to be that.
No, that definitely was supposed to be something else.
It was definitely supposed to be he gets caught up and eliminated.
Yeah. But who messes that one up then?
Because Batista.
Batista.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He breaks the record and it's over. Except no, it's not because now they're like, oh shit, give us Roman then.
Yeah, I'd say like it absolutely like we go along the lines of if Daniel Bryan wins this Rumble and then they build Reigns up more naturally beyond this point, then I think that at WrestleMania at the next year's Royal Rumble they could have done the exact same thing and he would have been super over.
Mm-hmm.
Just completely like they don't capitalize on this momentum the right way.
Nah.
Well, there's also like that. I always say it. That Punk podcast doesn't help either.
Where he flat out says about like, well, make Roman strong.
Reigns look strong.
But it's also like they don't even try to hide it a lot of the time, and that's like,
oh no, this is very much the point.
It's still a thing even now, where like when they do these press conferences and somebody will have the balls to ask them, like, you know, like last year with Cody, where they're like, what do you say about the people that are really disappointed? And then they're like, well, shut up. That's not the story we wanted to tell. And then you're like, okay, so you're just saying,
and it's clear, like,
fuck you.
Now the story you wanted to tell was Roman versus Rock.
Which, like, you go back to older podcasts where we were talking about, it's like, yeah, because they just want Roman and Rock. And in their mind, they were like, we will do whatever we need to do. We will sacrifice whatever we need to sacrifice in order to have that match at this particular show. Even if we have to spend an entire year telling you it doesn't matter everything that we do. And then that's what's going to be the case this year when Roman beats Rock. And then they go, well, the story will, you know, we're at the bottom of the fourth inning now. And it's like, fuck you.
Oh, you looked at the sign. That's the big weakness there. You never look at the sign before you win.
Booze.
Yeah. Batista.
Fucking fun match.
Out of the 3 Rumbles we've watched, it's definitely the
it's definitely the second.
Number 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, but I still wasn't a big fan.
That 2004 Royal Rumble was a blast. Unfortunately, given who wins.
I just hope we look back on the 2024 Royal Rumble and go, that was not only a fun match, but here are the really cool things that happen in there, and it led to a great WrestleMania. And
I'll say this right now, they're building. They have some fun stories going into the Rumble match, but that's the only thing they've got for the Rumble event. So it better be a good match. They got nothing going on.
Where like it's one of the rare occasions you're gonna see.
Yeah, okay, Roman's gonna wrestle, but like he should be doing that.
I don't think he's even going to be wrestling all that much. I think he's going to get taken out.
Yeah, I love the fact that like also that now they're just doing these replays. All the replays are Roman Reigns eliminating people.
Mm-hmm.
It really so that feels very forced in hindsight. Like,
so they could just be like, "This is the narrative we wanted to tell: is Roman is the next guy. Let's start the train on that."
Maybe we should have been listening to Triple H. Maybe this is the story they've been telling.
Oh, that's been obvious, though. I mean, it's been the Roman Reigns show for every element that they could for all these years. Like, that's why there's the criticism. And it's like right when Roman gets to where they actually have fans enjoying it, they screw it up by they just go like, yeah, you could take off the entire year.
You can start taking off every other.
You can do one promo appearance every 2 months or so. Like they learned the opposite lessons that they should have from Brock.
Well, I don't.
Go ahead.
I'll say I don't think there's too much of an issue of having a champion that only comes in special occasions. My bigger issue is the fact that like they tell conflicting stories with Reigns, because they tell the story of he's the most dominant world champion we've ever seen, and then in his matches
he can't win a match by himself.
he can't win a match without any help. So really, they should be talking about the fact that he's held this title hostage. And he's got his cronies to do all his hard work for him. But no, the commentators tell the story of this is the most dominant, this is the greatest title reign we've potentially ever seen of the modern era. It's like, no, it's not. It's a guy who just has other people fight for him, who's held the title hostage for like 3 years. It's like, surely you should just be desperate as a commentator or just as a figure in WWE. You should be desperate now for a guy to beat Roman Reigns. But they talk about how great Roman is instead.
I'll say this. Even though we're going to talk a lot more about the Royal Rumble in the next week or so, my hope is that he gets taken out of the match by The Rock. They managed to do the match with The Rock without the title on the line, and that it's just Cody finishes the story by beating the guy he had his first match against, who's Randy.
It's definitely not happening, because there's no way that they're going to do that. And they're not going to take that belt out of the Rock and Roman thing. Also, they can't have 3 main events of WrestleMania, and if they do, the Cody wins the belt.
They do it all the time.
But it's not the same. And if they just say like, okay, well, Cody can win the belt, but it could be like to start night 2 or something, nobody's going to be happy with it. And it's just what they're doing this year is they're doing The Rock is going to fight Roman at Mania. We're going to wait 3 months to confirm it. Roman's just going to retain at Royal Rumble. Rock is going to cut a promo in Australia, and then come March, they'll say, yep, match is official, and they'll have a shitty main event match. Roman will retain. Cody's just going to do something else, and then they're going to be like, well, there's another show tomorrow. You never know what's going to happen on Monday Night Raw. And then Raw's going to suck after. And then they'll start telling the story again where it's like, well, okay, well, Cody didn't get his chance to finish the story, but he can finish the story this year, maybe. And then we're going to have to wait until Mania 41. Or they'll just pull the trigger at SummerSlam or something,
I follow this shit too much to, like, not go into these things with a little bit of hope, because I'm already a pretty miserable guy, and I don't want to be more miserable. Like, I don't know. I hope that they're doing something else.
I am 100% convinced they think the Punk story makes up for the Cody thing. And oh my God, we've got The Rock. So Endeavor is like, yep, we succeeded already. Like they could put on a WrestleMania like WrestleMania 32 where it's like half the roster's injured and they're just throwing matches on the card. And they could be like, yeah, that's
It was WrestleMania 32.
It's Jey Uso against instead of Jimmy, like the match that they just obviously said wait 6 months for this. They'll just go like, well, you know, if it's Jey against I don't know,
Kaiser.
Ludwig Kaiser, yeah, that they'd be like, well, don't you like them? Like they don't care. They've got Rock and Roman on the poster, and they've got CM Punk on the poster. That they've already succeeded in their minds.
The thing, from a business perspective, I can't blame them from saying, "Hey, but we got The Rock," and especially if they manage to somehow get Austin.
Yeah, I don't think they're even going to get Austin for anything more than.
I don't think they're going to get Austin, but I can imagine that being an emergency phone call.
I could see them reaching out to him and saying, "Do you want to do a Grayson Waller effect segment?"
They offered him Roman last year. He turned him down. They offered him Roman last year.
Yeah, I'm not feeling Mania at this point. Like we've said before, I was more excited for WrestleMania on December 31st than I was on January 1st. And even then, there's lots of issues, but in their mind, 10 years ago, CM Punk had this Royal Rumble thing, and we're going to right that wrong. And even if it's not Seth Rollins, if he's injured and all, they're going to be like, well, the only thing that matters is we told the Punk thing and Roman retained his belt against The Rock. And I'm hoping that by the time we come around to this in a couple weeks and we talk about the 2024 Royal Rumble, that I'm more optimistic about things. And then I'm hoping that, you know, February, March goes down and come WrestleMania that I'm like, oh, this is really good and I really enjoyed it, and they proved me wrong. I hope I don't come back to this and just go, yeah, I told you so from here and from last year and the year before that, because the amount of years that I keep going, looking forward and going, told you so then, it's stacking up at this point. I'm not a fan of that.
I'll say that I think, you know, you've got some fun things going on. Hopefully we get Gunther Lesnar. You know, I will always hope for good things.
Well, that was the 2014 Royal Rumble. We'll see what happens 10 years later in a couple weeks when we have the 2024 Royal Rumble. And, you know, CM Punk does the complete opposite of what happens here and actually wins the match and all. But that would round out our 3 planned Royal Rumble Fannounce Table commentary tracks that we were doing this time around. If you do want us to do another one, then take advantage of the Pick Your Poison option. And, I mean, next year we could always go back and do 2015 and we could do whatever. We might end up having something else in mind that we want to do instead.
We're going to do 2015 at least next year.
I could see us probably doing that. Maybe doing the 2005. Maybe doing the, I don't know if we've ever done the 05 or the 95 or something.
We've done 05. I can see us doing 95 because it's quick.
Yeah, it's like
half an hour long.
Yeah, it's a super quick Royal Rumble. But yeah, I mean, obviously that's next year. We don't even know what's going to be happening in on NXT tonight.
God, I told you I'm quitting after.
If you do have anything else you want to chime in about, though, of course, drop your comments below. Make sure that you are doing all the good stuff like the subscribe button and all that. Make sure you head over to fanboysanonymous.com for all the fan tracks over there for, you know, the movie watch-alongs and such. Slightly different, but very much the same in a lot of regards, too. And also go to amangotree.com to check out the link tree and all the different accounts you could see there. Just follow and favorite and subscribe and like them. And follow me at Tony Mango on all the different platforms that you see. And also follow Robin Callum.
Yep, follow me everywhere I do release. Keep an eye on Fanboys Anonymous, because hopefully we'll be doing something with X-Men this year. Hopefully we'll be doing a lot of stuff over there. And check out my work on Fightful, of course.
So you can follow me on Twitter at Wigmeister14. Check out the Power Rankings every Saturday on smarkatmoment.com, where I'm ranking the WWE superstars based on their previous week's performances. And also at smarkatmoment.com and at WWEFantasyLeague.com, you can follow our fantasy league, see who is continuing to pick up points as we head towards the Royal Rumble, one of the times where some very big points can be picked up for the potential winners of the Rumble match, and on the path to WrestleMania, where we crown the winner of this year's season.
Okie dokie, everybody. That is it for this. But of course, we have another podcast coming your way this week with the hot tags, where we will be talking about different topics like some injuries that happened, unfortunately, like Core Jade and Austin Theory, maybe CM Punk at this point, maybe Carmelo Hayes. I'm looking at Punk on my screen right now. That's why I said that. We talk about Jack Perry, Dolph Ziggler, Dana Brooke popping up, and maybe some other news that happens over the next few days. Tune into the hot tags on Friday for that. Until then, adios. It's been another Smark Out moment, and we are being counted out.